Paul, useful to have a week without a game of football. I mean, I know that's your job to manage the side to play football, but useful with regards to the amount of time that you can spend with the players training in that kind of free week.
Yeah, and also useful to give them a bit of time off as well, which no football fan wants to hear, possibly, that we've been in here with a whip, like cracking it every minute of every day. It isn't the case. Like, some guys, they just need psychological rest and physical rest, and they need time away from me. I know I live with this voice every day. I know how hard it is to live with. So the lads need a break. And for all the staff, you can just give them a couple of days, just trank relay. Come in Tuesday really fresh, and then you have a really good build-up for the week, which has been nice because it has been chaotic. It does feel like we've been to Scotland, Wales and France away trips. I know that isn't the case, but that's sort of what it feels like. So to get back playing at home and to have a proper week's training has been good, yeah.
Talk about Joe Mellis then. Interesting signing.
Thank you. Interesting. Why?
Oh, interesting for want of a better choice of words.
Yeah. Well, he's a player that I've liked for a long time. Played against him a few times. Managed against him a few times. He can play in more than one position, which I love. Because as you can see, like, injuries happen all the time. You have to shuffle the pack, which I never cry about. It's always next man up. It's not a drama. It's probably more dramatical when the window is still open, weirdly enough. But once the window's shut, if you get injuries, you just have to, roll with the punches. So the fact he can play in other positions, I like. I really like who he is. I know he's a winner. I know he's got promoted out of this league. I know he's a threat on set pieces. There'd be no surprise for anyone watching this knowing that I like that. So, and I like who he is as a person, and that is crucial. We've got a really good culture here, a really good set of players, a really good dressing room, and when you bring players in, it's just not about what they do on the pitch. That's like, what's that, an hour and a half once a week, possibly. It's everything else that adds up for me. So he ticks a lot of boxes, and we're really pleased to have him here.
Would you forego having a number of players in the squad for having the right number of people in the squad? So would you say, actually, we could probably do with a couple more, but they're not the right people, I'll go with what I've got? Yeah,
definitely. And I would also go for a lesser player, more character, 100%. So, but I would, like, at the moment, we have the ability, the chairman's fully supportive, to sign numerous players, but I've just had the conversation with him there that if they don't improve what we've got, there's no point bringing them in. So I don't believe in having big squads. It causes problems, for one. I like to keep a tight-knit group. But I also like the players who are part of the squad to feel they have an opportunity to get in the squad. And I've said this in loads of interviews, but if you're the fourth choice right back, third choice right back, you're thinking, I need a lot to go my way to get in. If you're the second choice, if you can have two in each position, that's ideal. But if you can have two in each position, but also then players that can play more than one position, that's how I like to balance it. And well, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, that's just the way I like to do it. And I just think if you keeping a tight group and keeping a group that are together, all pushing towards one goal, is easier if there's 22, of them than 30 of them, and they can't all get in the squad, and it's just chaotic. So I would always take character. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't sign a one-legged man who was like the nicest person in the world and great in the dressing room. I want at least two legs. I've got to go that far. Two legs, good character, and a good engine, and then you've got a chance.
Will there be any more happening in the transfer window? And based on what you just said with regards to the size of the squad, are we talking maybe if there's anyone coming in, there's got to be players that maybe have to leave?
Yeah.
Be on loan or
Yeah. That's true. We obviously would have to trim down to get in. There's phone calls constantly about certain players of ours who possibly aren't getting game time, and other clubs see a future for them. And I haven't had conversations with those players, but everyone knows the game. I know how it works. So if we have an opportunity to get players better than the ones that are leaving in, then obviously we'll do that. And if you ask me on the record, off the record, my answer would be the same to you. That look, there isn't a position that I think we need to strengthen more than others. If I can get two better centre forwards than I've got, then I'll do it. If that's possible. So we have got good flexibility in this window, because I don't think we're desperate for anything, and not being desperate is a nice way to finish the window off. And I do know, because it's my first rodeo, that the windows heat up over the course of this weekend. Yeah. So we can be really reactive because we've got the ability to do that.
Just finally on the transfer window, say no more players were signed, would you still expect the players to be leaving?
If we didn't sign any more,
would you need to trim?
Yeah, I don't think I'm too bad on my numbers at the moment. I think I'm virtually there. I think I've got 22 outfield, 2-3 goalkeepers. I might be wrong. I might be 1 too heavy, but because of 2 younger lads, I think I'm okay. But however, that saying, if someone knocked on my door and said, "Look, Gaffer, I don't want to be here. I don't feel like I have a future here. I'm not happy here. I want to move," then I will listen to anyone. I don't want anyone feeling like they have to be here. That's not how a football club should be, I don't think. So the lads know that. I've told them that about 50 times. So I'll go and sit beside my door after this interview and see if anyone gives that little tap-tap.
We spoke to Callum Patterson before we...
What a guy he is.
Had a conversation.
Good company, isn't he?
I was just going to say, great company, and his picture is starting to repeat on that wall out there, which is interesting. But I mean, he looks like... I said one of the things I said to him was he looks like he's enjoying himself. He looks like he's enjoying his football. It comes across. You can see it when he's playing.
I mean, I would like to take massive credit for that. But I just think he's just a real...
He did actually...
well, that's good. Credit. Well, he should, because that's how it works. We all lie for the cameras. What a guy, and I'll go off and go... no, he is amazing. I just think wherever he played, whatever he did, he would just be content. He's just one of them people I'm sort of jealous of. He just seems to have life sussed better than I do. I feel like I walk around a little bit more, whereas he seems like just chilled and happy and content, which is lovely. He's a great person to be around. And I say this about all my players, but if he now said, "Look, Gaffer, do you want to go over the road and have a coffee for a few hours?" I would chew his ear off. I think he's brilliant, I really do. And what he's doing for the team, and like, there's always this thing about you bring players from higher levels, they're going to come in and think, oh, he's the opposite of that. He trains really hard, like leads from the front. Even at the weekend, I don't know if you saw, but like he went back into midfield. He ran past the strikers at times to help the team out. He's been brilliant. What is funny though, his goals you're on about on the wall. So every time he scores, there's a picture of the goal scorer. So he's got 3 up. But we're running out of poses, so it's going to start being like Kay's catalogue and all that, like
the parrot on his shoulder.
Yeah, different outfits. Guess who it is? But with a fake tash and all that, big curly one. I'd love to grow a curly one. I always look at them with envy, but that's a conversation.
That takes time.
It does.
A lot of effort.
A lot of waxing.
And I think you have to go through a very scruffy stage first to get to the point where you actually...
I spoke to a man about it not long ago. My wife's like, "What are you talking to strangers for?" But I just feel like I've got to say to someone, if someone comes past with something with that amount of effort, I'm like, "Look, that's a good tash, mate." And he was like, "Oh, thanks so much." I went, "God, how'd you get it like that?" And he's like, "A little bit of wax." And Mrs. is like, "Look, come on, just stop disturbing people." But it's just a good look. So if we could all have a go, Movember. Is it Movember anymore, is it? I don't think any 3 of us are pulling this off, are we? Any 4 of us. I mean, we've all got good facial, by the way. All of us. But that's a good couple of years investment, isn't it?
I'd quite like a little... I was thinking about Callum as well. I'd quite like a little bit more grey.
Volume.
He does the grey very well, doesn't he?
He does. But he's at that sort of... If we had the whole James Bond hair, I think we could pull the grey off. It looks great.
Oh, but just the grey beard's not...
Just a grey beard, I think like we'll look close to death.
Anyway, back to reality. I'm glad we talked about Callum because I've been so impressed with him and obviously talking to him as well. Impressed.
Oh, good.
And just finally on Walsall, I always kind of finish off talking about the game ahead. Good season last season. Faded away a little bit. Obviously, things didn't pan out for them, but they were thereabouts at the start of this season as well. Well, what do you make of them?
Yeah, well, I'm biased big time because I love the manager. So, you'll see me when I shake hands with managers. I always have utmost respect for him. But I love Sally, so I'll probably have a good smell of him at the weekend. He's a great kid. He was brilliant when he played at Rotherham when I was a coach. Had a lot of time for him, and I've kept in touch with him ever since. So I was heartbroken that they didn't get over the line last year, but it's always, and he knows this, so I'm not saying anything that's going to offend him, but it's always a marathon, not a sprint, always. It's 46 games, it's a slog. You're never as bad as you think you are when you lose, you're never as good as you think you are when you win, and unfortunately just slid away, and the more desperate you get to get the wins back, sometimes you get confused. Everyone's done that. I'm not saying he did, by the way, but then he's assisted by Darren Byfield, who, again, I love. He's some guy, great kid. So, in fairness to their staff, I'm looking forward to 5 o'clock on Saturday because that means my stress is gone. But as a team, They've started the season well, as I would expect. I would expect them to be in the top 6. They're really organised at what they do. How they have been playing doesn't mean they're going to play like this, because in fairness, I told you how Newport were going to play and they didn't, so they cheated. So in fairness, Walsall might, but they're like a 3-5-2. They come after you. The centre-halves are happy to do inside runs. They're 5-3-2 out of possession of the ball, so they're hard to break down. They sit in, but they counter-press really well. And they're a real goal threat. Set pieces, they've got Flint. In fairness, Pat said about him in the meeting today, saying he's big. Well, that's great news flash, by the way. We've definitely noticed Flint, he's big. So they've got a bit of everything, and they've got experience of what happened last year, and it's probably made them better and not more organised, but more aware of the fluctuations of the season. So it's going to be a really tough game. We've got a good run, I think, about 6 games now where we play, in my opinion, most of the top teams. So at the end of this run of games, I think we'll have a really good idea of where we are.
That's Paul.
Thank you.
Is it a bit of a proud dad moment for you then, in a way, to see him doing so well at Walsall, having come through your ranks as well? Yeah,
I can't take credit for that. I don't think he's part of my stable, unfortunately. I was a fitness coach when I had him, but so I had nothing to do with his career, apart from shout at him quite a bit for not running enough. But no, I just really liked him, and but he went and played for Shrewsbury, was ledge for them. One of my best mates, Hurst, he was the manager of them, played them in the playoff final and all that. And I just remember how well he conducted himself at defeat at Wembley. Wembley's not a place to lose a game of football. It's a horrific place to lose a game of football. So I've always had respect for him as who he is, but as an actual man, and his values are excellent. So it'd just be nice to see him. That's the truth. Life's about friendships and experiences and things like that. So it'd be nice to see him.
Gethin and Scott Hogan came off at the weekend. How are they doing?
Gethin's out. He's out for a long period, which is disappointing. He's got a hamstring injury, which is no surprise to anyone. So he'll be out for the foreseeable. Scotty got hit on the head, so there's a bit of protocol with him. So he's been training today, so we'll have to see. But it's sad about Geth, and it's really sad about Geth. Geth's been brilliant, and I know no one, hopefully some fans think it's sad, but you train really hard off season, you go on holiday, but you still train really hard in May and June. You come in, you put your body through horrific things, especially for me. In July, the season starts. You start the season well. The team started well. Geff started really well, and then you're hit with an injury from doing something positive. It wasn't like a contact injury. He was running down the outside, and we could have possibly scored off that opportunity. So, I feel for him. He's moved to the area and all that. And no injury is a good injury. I know that. And no one deserves an injury. But it sounds weird for me to say it, but he definitely doesn't deserve an injury. He does everything right. And, yes, I feel for him. But he'll come back stronger, as always. And we look forward to when we get him back.
And just when you thought you'd solved an issue with fullbacks, I mean, does that potentially mean you need another one now?
Yeah, another 2 or 3, I think with fullbacks we're weirdly pretty blessed. I know people might think I'm off the nut, but I know there's 3 players in my squad who can play right back, and that's if I don't have a new right back in the building before Saturday. So anything is possible.
What we did see on Saturday, though, was you have to roll the dice and sort of play Luke Offord on that left-hand side, and then Nathan obviously came on the right-hand side. You've got players who can play it, but also that versatility is great.
Yeah, it's key. Yeah, and I don't think football's that complicated. So it's not a big drama for me. If I had to play Patter right back, I wouldn't go to bed Friday night panicking. In fact, I reckon he'd be an amazing right back. I might try it. So Offie can play anywhere. He's been brilliant pre-season. He's hardly put a foot wrong. I don't want to tempt fate here, but he's been excellent. So to play him there, or to play Nath there, or to play Connor there, or to play Kane there, I don't think is a. And like I said, I never boo-hoo, never try and make excuses if we're not good. If we have injuries, we have to deal with it like anybody else. But we're blessed that I think we've got a pretty deep squad of good players in good nick. who want to do well, and that's part of it. I just think that they're organised and motivated. And if you watch the Grimsby game, massive respect to Dave. He's my friend as well. Not part of my stable either, unfortunately, but I play with him. But how hard they worked out of possession, how hard they pressed Man United and all that, and that just comes down from an ability but a desire. So we're blessed that we have players, no matter where they play, they want to do well, they want to stay in the team no matter what. And I could tell Offie that he's playing anywhere. I think he's playing goal. His performances have been outstanding.
And one of the top scorers in the EFL Fantasy League, along with Jack Sanders. Bizarre stats that not many people I think would have thought to pick those two at the start of the season, but not just top performers in your side, but in the whole of the EFL.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting you said that, because I've had a conversation about that today. I didn't know if they put a fantasy team in and they're managing a team and they've got the top points, or they, as they're performing as a player, have got top points. It's the second one, isn't it?
Yes, players have scored the most points.
Okay, well that's better from a manager. I mean, I don't want them to spend all their time on fantasy and not concentrate on the game. So the fact we've got two makes it look amazing. So, I mean, that's great news for the profit and loss, because they'll be worth millions now. But long may it continue. And if you've got, I've said this all the time, like it's the responsibility of the attackers on their job description to set up goals, score goals and all that. But the more players you have that can contribute to goals in the team and assist, the better. And the lads are believing a lot more in their set pieces. They're coached really well, and we do a lot of detail. But, if every time Jack thinks he's got to get one or Offie, and it keeps him in the top five, because I did see it as well, in the top five of the league, then great.
Thank you. Hi, Paul.
Hiya.
Great away result at the weekend, valuable away points from a game that you said wasn't particularly a classic. You told the team afterwards that come May, people won't care how you picked your points up. It sounds like you went into a dressing room full of players there that were a bit disappointed and down after winning a game. Am I reading that right?
No, they weren't down. I was just telling them the truth, that I don't think they came off thinking that they were at their best, but I'm also well aware it's about winning. So I'm always trying to drive performance, but if you don't perform at your best, or you don't take your chances when you're your best and you win, then look, it's just about winning. So literally when we got to the ground, it was about like, look, we've come here to win a game of football, no matter how it looks. This is how we want it to look, but life isn't like that. But it's just about trying to win. So we rode our luck. There's no disputing that. But, there was 2 extra points. That could have been a draw. Most away games could be, really. But that could have been a draw, and then 2 extra points could take you from 8th to 7th, or from 4th to 3rd, or, So to pick up points when you're possibly not at your best away from home is really good, and it's a really good trait. And I like the fact that the lads, kept going. I actually thought the reason why we possibly weren't as good as I would like was twofold, really. Newport were really good. I thought they got some really good players, and I said it in the pre-match, so I can definitely say it in the post-match. Look, they've had some, if you look at their actual games and watch them, they've been in all of them. Like, they shouldn't have lost at Grimsby, and you saw what Grimsby done the other night. So they're a really good team. The other thing is, I do think that having back-to-back away games with a midweeker isn't ideal. Going to Crawley Tuesday night and then going to Newport on Saturday, I just felt as a group we were just a little bit jaded. So to get a win through that, and obviously for Craig to save a penalty was good.
The chairman wants to see exciting and dynamic football here to get fans and families through the turnstiles. Is it a balancing act for you to do that and also to make sure you're winning games and, if you like, grinding out results?
Yeah, I mean, we don't intend to grind them out, but we do want to win, obviously. So if you said to me now we could play, I don't know what exciting to me is, and it's how I like exciting stuff, it's quick. I like loads of crosses, loads of shots, loads of set pieces. I just like action. I like tackles. That's what I regard as exciting. As long as the chairman thinks the same, we've got a good relationship, haven't we? We've cracked it. So yeah, but fundamentally, it's about winning. And I think that fans like to see football played in whichever style suits them. Not every fan likes every system. I appreciate that. But I do think that fans like success. So I do think they want to see their team win. I've played in many a game where, I can't tell you who it was, it's not fair, had absolute stinker of a game, scored the winner in the last minute, and he gets man of the match, and everyone's singing his name, going home thinking what a player he is, and he was horrific. So I do know that the most important bit really is trying to win. You've got to try and win, or at least you've got to put an effort into win. So I don't think that I wouldn't put style over substance, but over the course of the season, like the most entertaining teams are normally the ones in the top 6.
I think the fans are starting to think we can't be beaten at the moment. It must be great for you.
It'd be great for me if they were in my starting 11. That'd be amazing, because that's a good way to think. And like the lads have said to me, a couple of them have said to me, like last year we'd have probably, might have lost at a Crawley or might not have picked up 3 points at Newport, and it's been not a slog, but we've tried to turn around quite a bit of last season, just because the way it sort of ended, and it just felt collectively everyone felt like it was a poor season. So you just got to try and turn around the psychology of a lot, and luckily, hence why I came here, because the chairman said we could virtually change everything that we felt was necessary to get the team turning around and winning. And like, I know we joked about 3 of Patter's photos like that, but all them little things I just think add up to a different psychology, hopefully. It's like me saying it now. I could lose 3 on the spin and go, where's your different psychology now? So I don't want it to bite me, but that's how I see it. So I do think the lads are in a good place, and I do think they believe, and I think if the fans can see that in the players, then hopefully they turn up confident that the lads will perform. You can't be confident on results, but you can be on a level of performance, I think.
Lovely. Thanks, Paul.
Always.